And welcome to Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Drop us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. We've got the longest day of golf on the horizon. We want to know how you're doing in your qualifiers. You can find Tales from the Tips wherever you find your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and of course on the Odyssey app. Just hit the subscribe button, the plus button, the give us the thumbs up button. Find Tales from the Tips, subscribe, and enjoy. I'm DA. That guy is 15-year tour caddy Mick Middlemo. And like we like to say, we are just a couple of guys who like to talk about the game of golf both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a completely different perspective. Clearly, somebody's got some stories to tell today. How you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic, mate.
You look great.
Just looking, going through all these my old credentials that I put on there. Very nice. Some of them. I was a good-looking rooster back in the day.
And look at you now.
Yeah, broken down old man.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's grip it and rip it. Okay.
You want to just get straight into it?
Yeah, well, we have to, because, I mean...
All right. I'm going to, no sugarcoating it. I went to Australia for 2.5 weeks, ended up there for 4 months. Drank beer every day. Actually, no, I had 1 day off. I'm trying to figure out why I had the 1 day off from drinking beer, but I pretty much drank beer every day. I was there for 4 months, taking care of my dad, who's now 100% healthy, and drinking beer. And so when I came back, I was a little bit fat, maybe a lot fat. So I decided I was going to quit drinking for 100 days, which I've done many times in the past.
Hang on. You say that, but why? Why did you decide you're going to stop drinking beer for 100 days?
Because I didn't like the way I looked, and I basically said on a Sunday night a couple of weeks ago that I was going to give up drinking for 100 days, and someone was aggravating me saying I wouldn't be able to do it.
So now it's out of spite, not necessarily
now it's just out of spite. Well, it was a necessity too, because I kind of need that motivation. I need someone to tell me I can't do something, and then I'm away.
Got it.
So I decided I was going to quit drinking for 100 days. Today is day 9. A week ago today, I went to the gym for the first time to work out, did some stretching, got on the treadmill, started to walk. I love to run. I started to run, and 15 seconds into it, snap, felt a pop, felt a snap in my knee, and did my MCL. So I'm going to be out of action for a little while. Still not drinking, though.
Okay, so that was my first question. Did you revert back?
No.
So you've maintained your sobriety now for 9 days.
9 days.
It's got to be tough because you love your folks at Guston's.
I do. I went to Guston's on Sunday night to partake in trivia and drink soda water and had a cup of soup, and my tab was $9.78, which is the smallest bar tab I've ever had in my life. I don't know why Slim nearly fell over. And then he's laughing. Look at him, he nearly fell over laughing. I actually sent it to a lot of people, $9.78.
That was mostly in food cost.
Yeah, that was it.
They should comp your soda.
Well, they didn't charge me for soda water.
I was going to say.
No, they don't charge me for soda water. So, yeah, so I've hurt my knee, so now I'm a different strategy now. No more running because I've decided that I'm old. And
you've decided this?
Yeah, I had a quick look at my...
Or did your body decide for
I had a quick look at my birth certificate and realised that I was not as young as I thought I was.
You turned 60 in December, you know that.
Yeah.
Did I have to remind you of that?
Yeah, no, my body reminds me every day.
Okay.
So so now I'll be on the bike. I was going to say Lance Armstrong, but that's not really a good role model, is it?
No, I wouldn't go there.
Is it Greg LeMond? Is that who it was?
Greg LeMond.
Pulled that one out, didn't I?
Yeah.
Greg LeMond and Michael Phelps in the pool.
Is there any Australian cyclists or swimmers that you want to?
What's his name? Cadell. He won the Tour de France.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So I'll go with the Aussie.
You got to stick with your Aussies.
And maybe I don't know who I'm going to throw in the pool.
Well, Australia's always a very...
Yeah, because we dominate the Americans at swimming most of the time, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You haven't...
Anyway, so that's my knee injury.
Slim, we're going to have to look up the stats on USA swimming versus Australia swimming.
Little country of 23 million versus a country of 350. Let's do it per population.
Here we go.
Let's do medal per population.
You still qualified the same number of swimmers as
Let's just do anyway, move on. Golf show. Knees, yeah, so my knee is what we'd say in Australia, knackered. I won't be playing golf for a couple of months.
So I was going to ask how those Renegade golf balls treated you, and then...
No crickets.
No,
they haven't been used yet.
Can't use those.
Not for a little while. I'll be back.
I know. Well, listen, you can always go putt.
I'm good at that. Putt and chip.
We'll get you like one of those little things that go on the end of the putter where you can just
one of those.
pluck it right. Yeah.
Tim Heron, he plugs those.
Really?
Yeah, he uses one of those. Good man, Tim Heron, by the way, too. Champion fella. Could meet a nicer man on tour.
I've never met him.
Wonderful man. See, I'm in a good mood. I'm bringing cheer and loveliness to everybody.
Say, on your text message, you were not a
they were just short and sharp text messages.
You were very angry.
I wasn't angry.
You were an angry Aussie.
Oh, I'm a little annoyed that I've hurt my knee, and I'm a little. It's just that's all.
But I was checking on you.
Yeah, and I had my day. You did. You checked on me every day. But I sort of had my day set up that I went shopping. I got all my groceries, so I'm going to cook healthy meals every night. And I had my routine of what I was going to do during the day, and then go to the gym at night and stuff like that. And it just got blown out of the water. So I was a little bit grouchy, but I'll be back.
Well, I do want to.
I've quit something I'm very good at.
What's that?
Drinking.
He's a professional, and
I'm sorry,
but I think
I apologise to the people at Mick Ultra and Jameson for the downtake in
you
sales.
should be apologising to Gustons.
Yeah, well, they've already let me know.
You have cost them a small fortune this entire year.
Yeah, because it'll be like 7 months of me not drinking at Gustons. They might close down. Come on, boys, pick up the pace at Gustons.
We're gonna have to just go out there. We're gonna take Slim out there, and we're gonna have to do. Well, we still have to make up for episode 17 and 18.
Do you drink, Slim? Look, boy, that was a big head shake of yes. Your head nearly fell off. It's like, yep, I drink.
He has to deal.
I'm all over it.
He has to deal with us.
Yeah, that'd be a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I got something. I gotta.
Cameras look a little higher this week too. I like it.
Cameras are up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't like that was Slim, by the way. Out of all the times that we've recorded this is episode 29.
29.
He has never complained about the camera.
No, it had annoyed me a little bit.
Somebody's getting. I'm telling you, he was cranky. Fully cranky. Why? Tell us why.
Well, because I'd watched it a couple of times and didn't really take much notice of it. I'd seen it, but it had annoyed me, but I didn't say anything of it. And then a very special friend of mine in Australia, Kim Joyner, who's the sister of Glenn Joyner, who got me into caddying, she watches it religiously for some reason. I have no idea. But she said it wasn't very flattering looking up the leg of my shorts.
Wow. I think I'm not.
No, you can go there. And then I had a look at it and I was like,
No.
yeah, she's right. It's kind of brutal. Not really looking up.
Well, you've gotten rid of you've shed your golf polo. You've gone
yeah,
back to
I
your
went
jersey.
golfy. I went golfy for a little while, but the first place Cubs just makes it easy to put it on.
You got to put that on. Is that your
Banks.
Ryan Sandberg?
No, Ernie Banks.
Oh, that's your Ernie Banks. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're going old school.
I went old school today.
All right.
So anyway, that's why the camera levels are a little bit different.
got
Thank you, Kim, for pointing that out because it was a very ugly look.
We've got a lot of Chicago in this episode then.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
Move on, let's go.
We'll touch on that at the end.
Okay.
I do have to clarify something, though. Speaking of our good friend Kenny Duncan at Renegade, he asked a question during the episode that I never answered. So I have to go back and answer it.
What was the question?
Well, we were talking about the U.S. Open.
Yep.
And I stated that I thought that out of the last two majors that Scotty has to win, the U.S. Open was going to be his toughest.
Mm-hmm.
You both disagreed with me. You declared, how good is he at putting?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, he's ranked 5th.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's not. I said out of the two, the U.S. Open was going to be his toughest. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
You guys both made me feel...
Scoffed.
Right. Now, he did ask me a question. Who did I think was going to win? I'm going to stick with my prediction with Brooks Koepka.
Sorry.
Wow.
Got a cold.
Just because you're upset with him after his performance in the PGA, I'm hoping that
He's more mad that he bought Miller Lite instead of Mick Ultra.
That's a good point.
Hmm.
Now I am understanding why you were so upset by this.
Back in my drinking days.
Back again, Ultra is going to have to find another ambassador now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went back and I looked.
I thought you didn't have notes.
I did. Well, no, Mick. How well do you know me?
Yeah,
There's 3 pages.
Oh, God. Okay.
I sent you the rundown last night.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay. I know you gave me, well, it was weird. You gave me a thumbs up You gave me an Australian flag.
An American flag.
You gave me a kangaroo.
An American flag.
And you gave me an American flag.
That's my I got it symbol to everybody.
That's the symbol that I got it.
Yeah.
I was confused.
No, that's the symbol that I've got it. I've received it.
I thought maybe you were drinking again.
No.
Okay.
I would have sent pictures of beers if I'd have done that.
But I had to ask you, what did you think stood out in our interview with Ken Duncan?
Oh, it was a great interview. I did. I mean, I think he's on the right page of what he's trying to bring to golf. I think it's long overdue. Trying to get minorities and the women into the game of golf, and it's just I think it's a great way. It's a great way to start.
You know, the one piece of feedback that I had gotten almost instantly from when we posted that, you brought up a very, very good point, and I'm going to give you
You can talk about the ladies' tees.
The ladies' tees. Why is it that we assume that they... Now, I did have a pro reach out, and he stated that the women can play from any sets of tees.
Yeah, but that's usually the forward ones. I know you have the kids ones occasionally and stuff like that.
Well, they refer to those as the lady and juniors tees.
Okay.
Because that is usually for beginning golfers. But you would move back to the blues and the championships. There's no designation.
Fact, but there should be a designation.
Well, but I'm just trying to clarify.
I know.
Okay. I don't disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you do differently then on a tee box?
For the ladies?
For the ladies.
I'd have 3 different tees. Same as the men.
But we already have like 18 other colors up there.
Different handicaps and stuff. Now, obviously, it's going to be difficult because then you have to make bigger teeing areas as well.
So, but his
or you just hit off the fairway. Set up some markers down there.
So you're saying
put markers down there.
Move closer?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if I'm taking out, if I'm taking someone out who's playing for the second or third time, taking them out to Bentwater or Cobblestone or wherever. Cobblestone, for instance, in Ackworth, they have one set of tees. They have the red ones, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you're taking someone out for the first time, and I've taken people out there, it was like, no, you don't hit from there, just hit down from the fairway. You're good. You're trying to hit over a 40-yard ravine when you've hardly played golf. It's not entertaining for the person who's playing. Who just goes.
It's frustrating. It's aggravating.
Who just tops one straight into the the ravine. Golf ball lost. If you hit that shot from the middle of the fairway you're teeing up from, it might roll 60, 70 yards down the fairway. Okay, it's something to work with.
Sure.
But you're shattering someone's confidence. I'm like, I don't really like this game. This game is too hard. Don't like it. So I just don't think they put enough into that.
So I think where I was thinking along the same lines as the gentleman that shot me the note, you were saying that there weren't enough tees going back for the women.
Back or forward. No,
well,
if you're hitting, but I mean, if you're going back, if you're that good of a talented player, and and I've played with a couple LPGA players when I was down in Orlando. Well, they just can hit from the white tees or the blue tees.
I was going to say
that they can hit from the white or blue tees. I'm talking about the novice golfer who's just coming out to play. Who wants to play for the red tees, and they're just set up for one particular golfer. They're not set up for are you. Women
there shouldn't be a designation, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there shouldn't be. There should be 2 or 3 sets.
I mean, because technically the reds or sometimes greens are designated for women and juniors, beginner golfers.
Yeah,
which is where most men wouldn't go back or wouldn't go forward and tee off from there because there is that joke out on the golf course. We've all played that game.
Yes,
but truly, that's where they actually should be teeing off, not like our good friend John does, and I'll just drop a ball next to you or me.
But I mean, you go out there and say, okay, what do you want to hit off today? We have 3 choices. You and I could go out and say, you want to play off the tips today? Do you want to torture ourselves? You want to play off the tips? You want to play off the blues? You want to play off you want to have a fun day and play off the whites?
Oh, there's some courses there's 5.
Yeah,
that are designated as
and then you have the greens, and you get your elderly citizen ones off the white tees now at 60. Thank you.
Is that how you designated yourself? Now you're a white tee 60 senior?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, happy to jump off the whites.
You can still play from the blues.
No. I'm allowed to play off the whites. I'm 60. It says so. Forward I go.
Move it up, huh?
Move it up, baby.
When all of our career we've wanted to go back. Now it's move it up, baby.
You give me that driver wedge every day of the week.
All right.
I
totally agree with you.
So we've fixed that.
Okay. So
we haven't solved that problem, but
we're never going to solve
it. We're working on it.
But moving on, as you would say.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites.
We got to talk about Ben Griffin.
It was a good win, wasn't it?
That is his second win in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Boy's playing some good golf.
His first solo win. He had the team win with Andrew Novak in Zurich.
Nolans.
Whatever.
The Swampers.
Yeah. I mean, we know how we feel about them up here.
Best food in America.
But, I mean, honestly, it was boring.
I don't know if it was boring. It was methodical. I mean, no one was really...
It was a two-man race all weekend.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Matty Schmidt and Ben Griffin.
Who finished second, by the way?
Matty Schmidt.
Was it Scotty Scheffler as well? Did he finish second as well?
No, a T4.
T4, was it?
After just barely making the cut.
What a failure. What a dud. T4.
Wow. Are you... Why? What?
It's my little sarcasm coming into play. Sorry.
Who was so, like, anti-Scotty?
I'm not anti-Scotty. I love him.
I said who has been so anti-Scotty?
I sent you a stat about Scotty.
You did. Listen, I asked you, when are you planning on bringing that up?
He would have to win 56 of the next 109 tournaments he plays in to equal Tiger's winning percentage record in his first 250 starts, which is mind-boggling. If you didn't see Tiger play, that's how good he was.
That was kind of what my response back to you was there's what we were able to witness. You got to witness it firsthand.
I got to witness it firsthand, yeah.
Most of us got to watch it on TV. We'll never see that again.
Never.
And I think we're witnessing the new era of golf now with guys like Scotty, Rory, these kids that are coming up. I heard Jordan Spieth talking about it in an interview when he was beginning out on tour, 1920. He would do a couple stretches in the locker room, go out and play. Yeah. Now, good luck getting into the cardio physio room.
It was busy when I was there. When I was on tour,
they've got now double trailers and
extra
equipment,
weights and stuff. It's crazy how good they've got it there. Crazy.
Infrared sauna machines, cold plunge.
Instead of like John Daly.
John
Daly rolling up with his Diet Coke and cigarette and going, "Where's the first tee? What's the course record? Let's roll. Let's go."
Or out of the casino, as you've told that story.
One time.
Okay. Other takeaways from Colonial?
Nothing really. He said he said it was a boring event. It wasn't the most thrilling event to watch. No, it wasn't. And I did watch a lot of it because I do like that golf course. I think it's a great golf course.
Well, I love the golf course. I love the tradition that they do on Sunday with the flyover, with Memorial Day. I always find that to be...
I'll tell you what, it was nearly as good as the one at Indy with the helicopters, the Indy 500 with the helicopter.
Oh, did you watch the Indy?
I watched I love Indy. I would love that race. It's the best sporting event I've ever been to. I love the Indy 500. That flyover was unbelievable.
So do you prefer open wheel racing or NASCAR?
Well, it's a tough question for someone who lives in the South. I better say NASCAR. No, actually, I like them both.
No,
I don't really have a favourite out of the two of them. I like watching them both.
You like them both?
Yeah.
You like racing?
I do like racing,
yeah. I've always said I like F1, but I never...
F1 now has got too many rules.
You asked me the rules, I wouldn't
I don't know the rules. It's like watching rugby union for all those people who play rugby union. I don't know the rules of rugby union. It's the most weirdest sport ever. They just like, you're penalised for this. Oh, here's a 30-second penalty for this. Yeah, it's too much.
Okay, so...
Anyway, let's get back to golf.
You want to get back to golf?
Yeah.
Okay,
golf. Let's get back to golf.
Here's what my takeaway was from Colonial. How good that Gary Woodland, Tommy Fleetwood, Andrew Novak are playing right now. Oh, also our guy, Christian Bezzano.
He is our guy.
He is. Well,
he's done some great interviews.
We'll see him, and we're going to hear him in a couple of months when he comes here for Arthur's Live, Dream, Speak outing. We'll be, hopefully.
I'll be caddying.
You're going to be my cart partner.
I'll be caddying. When is that? How long away?
That's usually July.
What are we at? May, June? Oh, yeah. I'll set myself a goal to be back by then.
Okay. When I get the firm date, we'll get ourselves locked
Are
up.
you going to invite me this year? I didn't get invited last year.
Well, that was before we started the podcast.
Oh, excuses.
No excuses, just reality. Okay. So I got to ask you a question.
Yep.
Because I mentioned it, the tradition at Colonial, Memorial Day. You celebrated before you got back Memorial Day in Australia.
Oh, Anzac Day? Yeah.
Anzac Day.
25th of April.
So why?
Australian New Zealand Army Corps, Anzac. It's about Gallipoli, First World War. Just a tragic event where they may have screwed things up by putting people on the wrong beach, and when they were sitting ducks and basically just got destroyed. So, but it's a wonderful tradition in Australia. I went to the march in the morning. We have the place called the RSL, which is like our Legions, Returned Servicemen League. We have a early morning march. Starts at 5:30 in the morning, and you get down to the RSL, and you have a dawn service, and you know it's very emotional. It's very moving. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And then they play football on that day. There's a huge Australian rules football game. Collingwood playing Essendon. Collingwood being my team, and it's unbelievable. They play basically the last post, and there's 100,000 people there, and you can hear a pin drop. I mean, it's stony silence. No one. I think there was one of my buddies was telling me a story that was about 7 or 8 years ago that halfway through it, some clown screamed out at the top of his lungs or something like that, and no one did anything. And as soon as it was over, they basically just beat the daylights out of this dude.
Yeah.
You just don't disrespect it.
No,
you just don't
can't.
disrespect it. So yeah, he got what he deserved.
And that's why we put up our post on our Instagram to remember those that have fallen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you know, obviously moving here to the States, you've been here for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, typically the unofficial or official start to summer.
Mm-hmm.
Beer and grilling
For
and
those who drink.
Yeah, a lot of that.
I actually have my grandfather's World War II numbers tattooed on me, where they got drafted into World War II.
So your grandfather was drafted.
Yeah, both my grandfathers were drafted into World War II, so I have their inventory numbers tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, my father was drafted into Vietnam. He doesn't speak about it.
Mine neither. My dad wasn't, but my uncle was. My uncle Steve, who now lives in Vietnam.
Really? He just stayed.
Yeah, he lives outside of Ho Chi Minh.
like, hey.
He lives outside of Ho Chi Minh City. He's a good man, Steve. He fought Vietnam too. So, but yeah, it's unless you've been there, and obviously we haven't. But to all the soldiers who protect, it's incredible.
That was the one thing that my father always said to me growing up, and I don't want to say he used it as a threat, but he always said, if you screw up, you're going in the military. And I was the first to go to college in my family.
Which college?
Northwood University, small school up in mid-Michigan. Actually,
Hey, I knew it would get mentioned. Hey, let's bring up
multiple
Michigan.
locations.
Hey, how long did it take, Slim, to mention Michigan? Is that that's like the longest it's ever taken?
He led me to that one, Slim.
Hey?
He led did you see how he led the witness?
It was only a matter of time, though.
Yeah.
See, could make a good lawyer, wouldn't I? Guilty.
Yeah. I should have gone to the West Palm location, though.
Yeah, you should have.
I don't know what I was thinking. I stayed in mid-Michigan.
That's twice. We should have. Can we have a Michigan counter? Can you put a Michigan counter on this like every episode we have? Like there it is. Ding. Number 2, number 3, number 4. All right. Thanks. Good.
Are you done now?
I'm good.
Are you happy?
I am now. Slim and I
Well,
are working. I like this. That cheered me up.
Did that cheered you up? Okay? You make me laugh. Okay. Let's get back on track.
Yeah, let's go back on track.
And I texted you about this last week.
Did you?
Angel Cabrera, El Pato, the duck.
How's he doing? He must have been practicing well when he was in jail.
30. Okay, so that was my question to you. Not that there's any history on
Was
this.
it like a golf course in prison where he was staying?
I was going to
or
say,
what?
did he have a chipping and putting green while he was there?
Good
He was
Lord.
in jail for 30 months in Argentina.
I know.
I had to look it up. He was back on tour in December. He was reinstated back in December of 23.
And I won't make light of what he did. It was very wrong by any
No,
person's imagination.
and
but
domestic-
coming out and doing what he's done has been impressive. I was hoping for Cameron Percy to win, obviously. Very good friend of mine.
You were, and our guy Stuart Sink, T4 as well. Stuart's been playing some good golf since he came on this podcast, by the way.
It might be this chair. Was he sitting there?
Yeah, he sat right there.
Oh, all right.
Well, actually, he sat on that side because they had the reconfiguration thing. I sat over there, actually.
Oh, that's right. You did too.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Think about it.
That's all right. We'll get it
Yeah,
figured.
anyway, Angel,
Anyway.
yes, 3 wins in like 4 starts or something, 2 majors, back-to-back majors.
Back-to-back senior majors.
It's pretty impressive.
That was an exciting tournament because every time I looked, there was like 4 or 5 guys
It did.
tied for the
When
lead.
Padraig Harrington came home in an ambulance.
Is that how you're declaring it?
That's how we would declare it if your player doesn't do coming well down the stretch. Should be an ambulance follow him, put him straight in, take him off.
Just
Like the horse racing.
I don't want to laugh too loud in the microphone, but wow, is that how you term it?
Coming home in an ambulance, yeah.
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 I mean,
I don't know if that's an American term or an Australian term. It could be one of mine. I've been home for 4 months, so it could be one of those Australian terms. Coming home in an ambulance. Yeah.
you just bring that back out. Jerry Kelly
Well, he's great.
playing some great golf right now. Obviously, he won at Mitsubishi. Then he's been contending in the last couple of weeks.
He's always up there. He's like Steve Elker. Always up there. He had a good last round too. Shot 6 under the last round. Great golf course, by the way. One of my favourite golf courses on the planet.
Really?
Oh, love that golf course.
I've never been there.
Love that golf course.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, no, it's just a great test of golf. It's just beautifully laid out. It's just Fluff's a member there.
Oh, Fluff's a member.
Fluff's a member at Congressional.
Are you friends with Fluff?
I know Fluff very well. Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
No. It's just a great golf course. I actually asked him out. I actually asked him one
Slim,
time.
getting him to answer any questions right now is like pulling teeth.
Why?
You see this?
Why?
I'm no.
What was the question?
I'm asking you, like, can you describe the golf course? You
Well,
said
yeah,
how much you like it, and you're like,
it's got 18 holes.
It's a nice golf course.
It's got 18 holes.
It's
and
got a nice layout.
It's got 18 holes. It's green. I mean, what am I going to tell you? It's got good bunkering. It's got great par 3s. Par 5s are fantastic. The 7th hole's one of the best par 5s ever. Risk reward. It's very similar to the hole at Quail Hollow, the par 5 with the water. That's the 7th hole too.
Something with 7s.
Yeah. It's a tough golf course. It's a beautiful design. It's a very tough golf course.
Do you know who designed it?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
We can Google it.
You should look it up at some point.
All right,
Not
I'll do it.
now.
Well,
Not
the
while
phone's
we're
right-
on the
phone's right there.
not while we're on the podcast.
Phone's right there. But I did ask Fluff if I could go out and have a game there one time, and he said, "Yeah, as a guest, I think the best I can get you is like $400." So that wasn't happening.
That's a pretty.
I
You
thought-
should have played credit card roulette.
I thought he would have bought it. Many wins as he's
You
had.
thought he would
Thought
chip
Fluff-
in for
thought
you, huh?
Fluff would chip in for me at least, but
Sometimes you have your friends.
not that close of a friend, I guess.
Has he reached out and asked you how you're feeling?
No.
Oh.
And now we got what's the
And
next?
this-
What's
and
the
this-
next? What's
now-
this week's tournament?
Oh, do you want to go there already?
Here we go.
Okay.
Was that next on your notes?
Well, no.
Oh,
But
what was next? Let's go next on your notes.
longest day of golf is Monday, June 2nd.
Oh, qualifying for the US Open?
Yeah, there's some qualifiers that aren't going to be there.
Sergio.
Sergio.
Missed by 1 to play his 26th consecutive US Open.
Do you think he gets an exemption?
No.
Why?
Why should he? Because he's played 25 in a row?
Listen, well,
No, he didn't qualify.
I agree.
Any chance. I mean, he's played in 25 of them. He'll be okay.
Taylor Gooch isn't going to be there either.
Nope. Taylor Gooch is not going to be there.
Should we have an asterisk next to the winner's name?
No.
Oh, too soon?
Too soon. No.
Oh.
Taylor Gooch won't be there with his caddy, Mel Baker. Hey, Mel.
Friend of yours?
Yeah, good Aussie fella from Western Australia.
It's always funny.
Chardonnay drinker.
Slim, he brings up all of his Aussie buddies. But none of his Aussie buddies were checking in on him.
Yeah, they do.
You see this?
No, they do. They'll call me every now and again. I
Really?
get a text message, yeah.
Have you told him about your knee yet?
No. I'm sure they'll know in a minute, but no.
Oh.
It's just I don't
One
call
of
up my
these
buddies.
days
And,
you're-
I don't call
How
up my
about-
buddies and go, "Hey, by the way, I got a bad knee." We're Australians. You'd be like, "Yeah, so what? Take a tablespoon of cement and
Well,
harden
it's the
up,
same
princess."
thing I
It's
would
like,
say to
it's
you.
like, exactly.
I
They
asked
don't
you-
care. Move on.
I asked you where your at least where your crutches are.
They're at home.
Just toughing it out.
Exactly.
Okay. One of these days, you're going to get one of your friends to actually come on the podcast.
Get Shannon on the couch. You fit? Just.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for what we've been waiting for
Drum roll.
since last year, your favorite week of the year.
Oh, it's not my favorite week of the year.
It's your favorite week
No,
of
it's
the
not.
year.
Waste management's my favorite week of the year.
Okay. The Memorial. Jack's.
Beautiful, beautiful tournament. Amazing golf course. It too has 18 holes, lots of green and bunkers and things.
Here we go, Slim. Here we go. You were raving about the golf course.
It is. I've had the pleasure of playing it. Yes.
Okay, so then I want you to detail some of the things that we should be watching and looking for this weekend.
There's only
at
one
the
hole,
Memorial.
the 18th. It's a beast.
Yeah.
It's a beast. And if you've got a one-shot lead or you're hanging on coming up 18, it's a beast. Be careful. All right, okay. You want to know the story, so I'm going to get straight to it.
I want to hear about this amazing golf course because I'll never be there.
What if I got you an invite to play there? Would you play?
Oh. It is in Dublin, Ohio. Do I have to stay in Columbus?
Yeah, you'd have to stay in Columbus.
Nope.
Play at the.
Nope.
See, I've had the pleasure of caddying there at the web.com tour at the.
Can I wear
at the Columbus?
my maize and blue?
What's maize and blue?
I'm not saying the
Get
word.
the counter up. Cha-ching, 3. It doesn't matter. You've already mentioned it. 3.
I asked, do I have to stay in Columbus?
Why wouldn't you?
Why would I?
See, it's just a rivalry of sport. We can all get along.
I get along with you fine.
That's because I'm a Nebraska fan.
That's right.
But no, I've had the pleasure
of
of playing the Ohio State Golf Course because that's where they play at the web.com event there. And I was actually at the web.com event caddying for Greg Owen, and Greg Owen called and said, "Did we go and play there at Memorial?" And they said, "Yes." Can my caddy play too? Yeah, of course.
So here's what I will answer.
This was the year after I had issues.
Yes, I would play that golf course.
Okay.
Why? Because I think one of the greatest golfers and designers, Jack.
Fact.
And it is the closest that I will ever step foot to Augusta.
Well, that's not true. We might get to Augusta next year. Not playing, but we might.
I was going to say, maybe.
Well, if we get media credentials, we could get in the media raffle to play on Monday.
Harder to get than the Super Bowl. We have a better chance of going to the Super Bowl.
Can we?
I don't know. Hopefully.
Mike Connie. Hello, Mike.
Well, yeah, Mike would be the one to help us get that. But if we're going with credentials, it's because our team is heading there.
You have 7 teams. Which of your 7 teams would be heading
The
there?
one that pays my paycheck right now.
Oh, the Falcons, yes.
Yeah, okay. Jeez, I have to pull that out of you. Okay, so I gotta ask questions
Yep.
before we get into the story about
The Clubhouse.
the Clubhouse. I gotta ask you this question: why milkshakes?
I don't know. I actually did some homework on this. I think it started in like 1974. I think Jack started or something like 74 or 78. I guess he just wanted to do something different for the players. It is a very good milkshake, but it was not the best milkshake on tour when I was out there.
Where was the best?
Castle Pines.
In good old Denver, Colorado.
And I'm not saying they're bad milkshakes. They're exceptional milkshakes. And I think they have an Ohio State one too. If you Google it, they do have it like... It
Yes,
has like
it's
a peanut.
a Buckeye.
Yeah, it's a Buckeye thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring that up. Would you drink one of those?
No.
Boy, you're brutal. You're really
Why would I drink one of
really
those?
staunch on this, aren't you?
It's not one of my favorite flavors.
What happened?
We'll go with strawberry.
What happened there? Did you just really strike puberty for a second?
I mean, strawberry? Strawberry shake? Yeah.
Strawberry banana.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Beautiful.
Sounds like my
Yeah, no,
protein shake.
but they're wonderful milkshakes, yes.
Why? I want to know why.
I don't make them how I know. They're good. They're just good.
No,
you know
I
what a
want to
good
know
milkshake?
why do you have to have a tradition of milkshakes?
Well, they drink milk when they win the Indy 500.
Again, I'm from the Midwest. I don't understand this.
You don't understand why they do milk at the Indy
No,
500?
I don't. I've never understood why they drink milk at the.
It used to be a dry county.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, that's why. So the tradition stuck. They couldn't drink alcohol back when they won.
Okay, so you went with milk after being in a hot
automobile. Why are you blaming me?
I'm not
He thinks I'm
blaming
the
you.
one that's angry. He's come out. He's come out firing today.
I
didn't pick milk.
I'm asking questions.
Just because I was probably old enough to be there, I didn't pick milk. You agree with him?
Yeah. You are avoiding questions and you're ducking and jiving.
I don't know why they started with milk. I apologize. I don't know. Do you want me to Google why they started with milk?
Not while we're on the podcast. Okay. So
I'm going to have notes next week.
I got to ask you this question.
Yep.
There's a new rule on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the Mick rule. I think it started when it was from the memorial. Do you care to enlighten our listeners of what happened at the memorial in the clubhouse?
I think it was 2012.
Do you think?
Yeah, I haven't really looked at that one very much.
What happened?
I was caddying for Greg Owen. And
this all goes back to Greg.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happened with
Well,
Greg
I caddied
Owen.
for him for a long time. So
Bent putters.
What's that?
Bent putters.
Yeah. It's fine. He's not the only one to do that. Boy, I've seen some wild ones in my time. A lot of things that you didn't see on camera and people throwing things and stuff like that. He was nothing compared to what some of the things I've seen. Well, that could be a good story down the thing. Some people I've seen breaking clubs and throwing clubs and stuff. Well, we can't fit it into... The last show we did was an hour. We can't do that again.
Slim, this is another thing you will find. He likes to tell part stories and say he'll get back to them.
That's how you end up with 50 episodes.
And then when I ask him, like, hey, do you want to touch back on that story? No. Well, why not? I just don't want to.
No, we can. We can get back to the broken club things and stuff. I got some beauties. Like Anthony Painter, when I caddied for him, he broke 2 in 1 day.
Okay, I want to hear about the clubhouse, though.
He broke 2 in 1 day. So we had a really good finish at Memorial and like really played good on the back. And I think we were in like 11th place or something like that, 10th place. And he had a really good chance. And we come up 18, which is, already said, it's a really hard hole. Hit a beautiful drive, hit a shot back sort of right of the flag for about 30 feet with about 10 foot of break. And he holes this putt. And, I was like,
You were
caddy math.
Yeah, you were doing caddy
math on the back of the green going, I think we finished 5th or 6th. Hello. That's an extra 10 or 20 grand. Thank you very much for me. Don't worry about him. He's got plenty. Just worried about me. And so I'm all excited. I've got my credentials. And if you read it, it says allowed in Clubhouse on Fridays and Sundays to help players pack up their bags and stuff. Like Friday, if you missed the cut, he's in the shower, throwing things around and getting grumpy because he's missed the cut. And I'm out there packing up his clubs and stealing golf balls because he's not going to use them for the next few days. And things like, well, they give them to you. They give them to you anyway.
I was going to say,
I'm not carrying these. Okay, cool.
Right.
So that's how I ended up with like 60 dozen titles at one stage, and so we finished 5th or 6th or whatever it was. So I've got the bag and I'm all excited. It's like, wow, this has been a great week. Going to have a big night tonight. A few beers at the village, the village Dublin Inn, whatever it is. That's the bar that I used to go to. And
see, if we're staying in Dublin, then I'm in.
Yeah, it was Dublin. The village, the Dublin Village Inn, I think it was called.
All right,
a really nice bar.
All right.
And so I go up to I've got the clubs on the shoulder. Greg's, he's been signing autographs. He's wrapped. He's had a great finish. He's probably made himself a couple $100,000. And so I walk into the clubhouse and I go out into the locker room and the guy stops me at the door and says, you can't come in here. And I'm like, yeah, I can. My credentials, it says so. I'm allowed to help pack up the players' bags. He says, no, I'm sorry. Mr. Nicholas doesn't allow caddies in the clubhouse. Oh, well, you might as well throw the reddest flag in front of my face ever. Greg actually snapped and turned around and goes, Mick, don't. He knows me. He's like, don't. Please don't. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I just want to hear it one more time. He goes, Mr. Nicholas doesn't allow caddies in the locker room, the clubhouse, in the locker room. I was like... And I won't tell you what I said because it's a podcast, so I won't go what I actually said. But yeah, I was a little infuriated by that whole thing. I sent a letter, and I didn't get any response. But it's the first time I actually sort of sat down and wrote a handwritten letter saying how disappointed I was that's the way I was treated.
And you never received a response.
Never received a response. No.
Did you just send it directly to Jack, or
no? I sent it to no, I didn't. I sent it to the head pro. I can't remember his name. And I said, if possible, could you forward this on? I didn't want to send it to him, but I was disappointed this happened, and I guess I know they are now, but I don't think it had anything to do with me. I was just I was incensed that it happened. That's still to this day that caddies were treated that poorly, that we weren't allowed in, like I was going to steal something. I was like, that's the way it felt.
Well, and then
I was hurt by it.
Yeah. Well, and you should be, because every place else
Yeah.
on a Friday, like you stated, on Friday and on Sunday, that's your job. That's part of your job.
Yeah, you pack up the bag. He's getting ready to leave. I know how to pack his clubs up the way he wants them, and just everything's. So when he comes out of the shower, he gets dressed, and we've got the clubs ready to roll. We're done.
Yeah.
And I'm the one carrying him out. You don't want him to hurt his back or anything like that. So you're trying to take care of your players. So it was very disappointing.
Yeah.
And then of course I might have been the year after. I think he kept his card that year. The year after he lost, and then obviously we're at the Columbus one, and he called and said, "Can we play?" And I was like, "If they'd let me play, I might forgive." They'd let me play.
So you forgave.
Yeah, so I forgave because they let me play there.
You're
Greg Owen hasn't forgiven me for that day though.
Really?
No.
We should have. I'm waiting for Greg to come on.
No. He hasn't forgiven me for not that day. Hasn't forgiven me for the day we played golf together.
Why?
Because
what happened?
Because we started off and I was playing like I'd been, like I had a bad knee. I was just playing terrible. I mean, it was horrible. I was just playing.
Were you guys playing twosomes?
Yeah, it was just the two of us playing.
Oh.
It was just the two of us playing, and I was playing horrible. And he's like, "All right, let's play for some money. Let's just play for $2 a hole. Last 7 holes. We'll play for $2 a hole. I'll give you a shot on every hole, but except the par threes." I said, "Okay, no problem." And I shot 2 under.
You sandbagged.
I shot 2 under the last 7 holes.
He sandbagged. You are a sandbagger.
He wasn't thrilled.
I bet he wasn't, because those guys, even for $2 a hole, is.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about paying me. So but yeah, I shot 2 under the last 7 holes.
Did you have him ever sign one of his dollar bills that he gave to you?
No.
Do that next time.
I've done that to a few.
I still have $5 bills from when I worked at the course. We used to do that to each other. Make somebody sign a $5 bill.
Always, yeah. So
I actually had dollar bills up in one of my offices.
Someone at Guston's has got one of mine. I know that. And I signed it for him. I don't know what it was. That's back in my drinking days. I can't remember.
Wow. Okay.
9 days ago.
I was going to say a whole 9 days ago.
So that's my memorial story.
That's your memorial story.
They're all allowed back in the clubhouse and everything's
Okay.
good.
So before we turned on the microphones, you said you know who's going to win this year.
Well, I already picked it, Bryson DeChambeau.
At the Memorial?
No, it's not Memorial. Memorial.
That's the U.S. Open.
Yeah, sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. I think Bud Corley.
Bud's been playing some pretty good golf, too.
I think Bud's ready to break out.
You think he's ready?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Top 10. He's playing great. He's playing with a lot of freedom. He knows he's kept his card. He's been under a lot of pressure, a lot of injuries the last few years. I mean, he was off tour for 7, 8 years. And Bud's only a little fella too. But he's a great guy. And I think he's just playing with so much more freedom now that he knows he's got his card, he's good to go, and he's probably locked his card for next year.
That's what Ben Griffin said.
Yeah, and I think he's playing with so much more freedom and relaxed, and I'd expect a big show from this week.
He's playing with house money, so to speak.
Should I throw an Australian in there too?
Sure, yeah, please.
I might as well throw Jason Day in there. It's his home course.
You think he's going to contend?
Yeah, contend.
Okay. Because you don't think he's actually going to win.
He'll be up there. He'll be right up there.
Okay.
Him and Bud Corley down the stretch.
What about... That would be an interesting broadcast. What about Scotty?
Oh, he's going to be up there, isn't he? It's hard to dispel... It's hard to say, nah, he's going to miss the cut. God.
Well, he's not going to do that.
I'm not going to go that far.
But...
What's the next cut he's going to miss? There you go. That'd be a good question.
I literally... Legitimately, if he's going to miss a cut, it's going to be at the U.S. Open.
Are you saying he's going to?
No.
Okay.
Not this year.
That was an emphatic no.
He's just playing too good of golf. I mean, the guy was on the cut line.
Did you see his tee shot on the second hole last week when he nearly, how he crosses his legs when he drives?
Basically broke his
nearly
ankles?
Broke both his ankles.
I thought he was performing one of the ballet moves. My daughter was performing this past week.
That's what it looked like.
I was like, whew.
Yeah.
He hurt himself.
Yeah, he's going to hurt himself one day doing that. It's either that or he's back.
I was going to say
that's what's going to happen to Bryson eventually.
So speaking of backs, Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, he's out until the fall.
Yeah, again, there's a guy that,
capitulated.
It's sad because he's got all the talent.
He's got game. Yeah, but he's got injuries and he's going to do that too.
His body just can't hang. Yeah, well, Exhibit A over there. Not that I'm the beacon of health over here either, because I have my own set of issues going on over here. No, I think I'm kind of on similar lines. If Scotty or Rory aren't there, I like the way Andrew Novak is playing golf right now.
Yeah, he's pretty handy.
He's been phenomenal for the last month and a half. Winning at Zurich, obviously, with Ben. He's been contending almost every single week. Andrew Novak would be my sleeper pick.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think we're allowed to pick, in these events, I don't think we're allowed to pick Rory or Scotty to win.
No, I mean,
it would be very easy to go, hey, I'll pick Scotty Scheffler every week, and at the end of the year, he wins 9 events. I go, I picked 9 winners this year. That'd be easy to jump on. That's something you do.
No. Really? Did I pick him to win any of my majors?
Well, did you pick him in one of them?
No. Oh. Which, by the way, I kind of went back and went, what was I thinking?
Well, because it's too easy. You start sitting and you go, I could pick
and that's kind of...
And then everyone's going to go, you just pick Scotty Scheffler because it's easy. Well, I'm staying away from those easy ones. I'm bringing some value to the
I
the
did
punters.
get made fun of for picking Rory to win the Masters.
Yeah, but again, you picked Rory. You can't pick Rory or Scotty.
Oh, well. Oh, okay. For the signature...
I'm making new rules.
You're making new rules. Okay. I want to talk... the last thing I really want to get into is...
this looks serious.
No. There's nothing serious.
Let's go.
We've discussed it a couple of times. We were talking about the rollback. We were talking about the golf ball rollback. We were talking about conforming, non-conforming clubs on the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My question, I want to get back into this because this was the one thing that we were talking about last time was the testing. Where do you stand on driver testing in general?
I think they all should be tested. Like I said, if you're using a driver that you've had for a year, it's probably going to give you some advantage.
So if I was to say they test every week, but the player gets to choose which driver they're handing.
What do you mean? Because if you've got 2 drivers in your bag, well, you test them both.
Well, but that's not what they're doing.
You're only going to test the gamer.
You should.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening, according to Lucas Glover.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. And I believe Lucas.
I believe Lucas 100%.
The people are just handing their drivers over and...
Yeah, whatever one was in your locker, you've got a couple of backups and...
Yeah. Oh, I'm probably, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think they should be tested every week.
Yeah.
Just like, going back to our little race car discussion, those cars are tested every race.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, because the Indy 500 guy that finished second, he got DQ'd back to last this week.
Why?
Because he had an illegal something on his car.
Right. Not that I'm saying that any of these
So you're basically saying when they walk off the course, give me your driver. That would be a better way to do it. But that would also create issues.
Well, there's a lot of issues that you could create.
Because I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that drama at the end of a tournament going, hey, well, he just won, but your driver's not conforming, so now you're disqualified.
I would want it on. Okay, we've talked about this. Everybody is there on Wednesday for the Pro-Am / practice round, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On a regular tournament week. On Wednesday, they turn in their driver, their gamer club.
Supposedly.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. You have a conforming sticker that gets affixed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets tested, though. According to what I've heard, it only takes a couple minutes. And it's enough time for them to even go to the locker room and put on a pair of shoes. You just turn in, as soon as you show up to the course.
They take your driver, test it, get back to you with a sticker on it that says it's good.
Yes. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Man, we agree on something.
No, it's a great idea. I mean, because I tell you, I caddied for a guy, and I won't mention his name, but he got contracted to use a certain golf ball, and a certain driver because he got his PGA Tour card, and it was completely different to the setup that he'd been using to get to his PGA Tour card. He was using a Titleist ball and TaylorMade driver when he got his card, and then when he got onto the PGA Tour, this was back in early 2000 when they were offering stupid amount of money for the driver, $200,000 for the year and $200,000 a year for the ball. So he took the $200,000, which is, by the way, a dumb decision.
Oh, yeah.
You got $400,000 in the bank, you think you're beauty, I'm going to go and play, but you can't play because you're not used to that setup. So halfway through the year, he said to me, I can't use this ball anymore. I want you to get me a Titleist with this Titleist in my bag, but obviously you have to, on this Darryl survey on the tee, you're using these clubs, what ball are you using? And obviously the sponsors will look and see what you're using and stuff like that. So I would go up there and say, here he is. He's got a Strixon. There it is. And then take it, put it in the bag, and then pull out a Titleist where I blacked out all the Titleist markings and the...
So basically his putting line was...
Just left the number there. I blanked out. I had blanked out everything that said Titleist and Pro V on the sides and stuff like that. So that way, if he did get on TV, they wouldn't notice that he was using a Titleist instead of a Strixon.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It happens.
It happens. And I'm sure I'm not the first to do that.
I would say you're probably not the last either.
Probably not the last one to do that either, but yeah.
Anything else from our conversation with Kenny that you can...
No, I haven't tried the golf balls yet because obviously I'm on one leg, but...
We'll get you back and going.
I'm back in shape. I'll be leaving here, going to the gym. I'm going to go for a swim when I finish here, to start to strengthen the leg and get everything going again.
Right. Wow. So we're gonna end this episode a little differently than we normally do.
You're not going to mention Michigan?
I've already mentioned that 3 times today, according to you.
3 times.
To the counter.
I'm going to have a Michigan counter next week. I might even print some up every time I'll have my cards next to me. 1, 2, up to 100.
Slim, this is what I'm dealing with. Who's
your team, Slim?
He'll tell you afterwards.
Well, you can tell me. College. Alabama.
You heard him. There it is.
High Tide. God, I love that commercial.
It's fantastic.
And what about pros? Might get a good answer. Just say the Falcons then.
Oh.
What?
Woo!
There you go. I was going to say, hang on. I'll be sitting there next week if you keep that up.
We're going to end this episode a little differently than we normally do.
All right.
We lost 2 amazing, I'd call them influencers before they were known as influencers.
Yep.
The first, George Wendt.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I stepped foot in Ackworth, in the bar that you call home, Gustin's. What did I call you?
Norm. Because I know everybody there.
And everybody knows you. Everybody came up to you.
Yeah.
I literally sat there for an hour and a half, and everybody in that bar or who came into that bar.
Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. And
it is a good thing.
This is the reason why I'm bringing George Wendt up. Obviously, that and Bob Swirsky. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows him as the Bears super fan, and I always found it to be extremely funny. One of the few Saturday Night Live skits that I still go back and, Da Bears.
That's why I got Chicago on today.
That's why we go back to Chicago. But I look at it, and I think of guys like you, and I think of guys that I'm friends with that, and John Parle is one of those guys where it doesn't matter where you guys are at or who or what we're doing. People come up to you because of who you are, and they know who you are.
They do.
And so that's why, as a kid of the 80s, watching Cheers, that was the one night my mom and dad let us stay up late. I got to watch Cheers at 9 o'clock on Thursday nights.
Amazing show.
And my dad was bowling at the time, so it was always with mom. But I got to stay up late and watch Cheers. It went off air my senior year of high school.
Yeah, like Norm has his own chair, right?
Yes.
So mine's at the end of the bar at Gustin's. It's the very last chair I sit at Gustin's. Now, obviously, if someone's sitting there, I'm not going to walk up and throw them out. Although I have mentioned there should be like a gold-plated chair there. So
I was going to say they should at least have a nameplate.
But if someone's sitting in that seat and they get up and leave, the bartenders will come straight to me. Your seat's back.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, thanks. Yeah.
But it's also when you're not there, the difference that it makes.
Yeah.
So I think we lost a good one there.
Oh, we lost a great one.
The other one for me is Phil Robertson. Some know him from the TV show Duck Dynasty. The hunting world knows him for creating the duck call.
He's a good quarterback too.
Thank you. Some of them, including one Terry Bradshaw,
Who was the backup to him.
was the backup at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I found Phil Robertson as a motivational and inspirational leader. I was going through a period of my life where I was making some serious changes. I needed some serious changes. And I didn't watch a lot of TV at that time, but I did start watching this show called Duck Dynasty. And I watched Phil Robertson lead a family, not only through faith, but a relationship, but with unapologetic faith and caring of who he was. And that helped me transform, hopefully, to the better father and the better husband that I am today, and friend. Faith, family, and friends.
There you go. Sometimes that's all you need.
And that's why I think I can put up with you.
A lot of people,
But
three women haven't.
I will say this. I think when Phil got into heaven, the words he heard from Jesus were, "Well done, good and faithful servant."
Yep, I agree. And that's what you want to be.
Absolutely. So with that, guys, make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube for our shorts and our new content. And remember, keep your drive straight, your putt short, and your scores low as we tee it up next time on Tales from the Tips. We'll see you next time.
Don't mention this again.